383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Hi, this is Lotus. Join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM for Unrestricted. What we don't talk about, what we should talk about, and what we will be talking about. Don't forget to join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM for Unrestricted.
It's now time for another Unrestricted, hosted by the beautiful Lotus. Lotus, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Andre. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
I haven't seen you in a little while.
I know. I'm smiling, Andre. No, you haven't seen me in a little. I have been. I'll talk to you a little bit about it in a little while.
I heard you in a pageant.
I am actually. I'm just not going to be on the stage, Andre.
Exactly.
But before I go into that, I have the lovely Constance Akufo with me this morning. And we're just going. She's my guest. She's been here before in another capacity.
I remember,
because she's a psychologist. But this morning, no, we're not going to be talking about anything too serious. We're going to be very happy this morning, smiling, easy conversation this morning. This morning, I'm going to do my carnival show.
Mm-hmm.
All about carnival, conversations about what's going on with carnival and all the things around carnival. So I'll jump right into the fact that you told me that I'm in a pageant. Andre, yes, I'm in a pageant. This year, my daughter Ziggy Vitalis, Miss Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate Limited. I have to say the whole thing.
Plug in.
Yes. So she is one of the carnival queen contestants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday the 5th of this month, which is Saturday coming.
And I understand that show is usually well attended.
Oh yes, I mean sold out, Andre.
Wow.
And this year the ladies are vibrant, they're beautiful, they're creative, they're just different. So it promises to be a very competitive show.
I can't help but notice the makeup artists.
Uh-huh.
They make them look alike.
Mm-hmm. You find
yes.
that?
Yes.
Sometimes, but hopefully on Saturday, you will know who is who. But the good thing about it is that these days the makeup artists are a big thing. They put makeup for TV, makeup for print, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the girls are going to be looking great. I'm sure they've done a lot of work. So I'm very excited, Andre. It really came into my life. It takes on a life of its own, because you have to support. And this is her first pageant ever. So we're excited.
I wonder if they hold on to certain things that they've learnt during the entire process.
Of course, I would think so, Andre, because it's not only just beauty and come and talk, and there's a lot of things planned for them. They do a lot. They're very busy during the time where they get ready. So there's a lot of workshops and a lot of things they partake in that I am very, very impressed with. They teach them about investments, etiquette, just a variety of things, and I have seen the growth. And
I imagine that's alongside full-time jobs and so on?
That's right. Some of them have full-time jobs. Some of them have their own businesses, so they
Really?
Yes. There's a few entrepreneurs who had to take some time off their business, notwithstanding. But they're very strong girls. So I am very excited about the competition.
Are you aware that one of the competitors in the Calypso arena is the incumbent carnival queen?
Yes,
her name is
of course.
Lucian.
How you mean? Yes, of course. She can do it all. She's beautiful.
And she sings well.
Yes, so for sure. I am definitely excited. When I saw her, I was just blown away. So it's been a good thing, Andre. A lot of things happening, Andre. And with that, I want to start talking about carnival, Andre, because when carnival comes around, I find St. Lucians are the most kindest.
I thought it was Christmas.
Yes,
it was Christmas.
It's like, everybody is so happy and chipper. And, it's like in Canada, when it's winter, everybody's mouth is long. And then when the summer is coming, everybody says to, "Hi, nice day." So it's almost like that in St. Lucia. You feel the vibe, and everybody is so happy, and especially Calypso. When you go to the tents, you must be a happy person to go to the Calypso tent. You cannot be somber. You cannot be somebody who cannot take a joke. You cannot be somebody who is uptight. You have to be relaxed, and so it actually takes years.
That's easy for you to say.
I am telling you,
easy for her to
You
say
never-
that.
you never
Because there's so
targeted.
many people in the
No,
world.
well,
to me, even in the targeting, Andre, because I'm sure Constance can tell you, even in the targeting, right? Calypso is the bedrock of our, our social lives, our economic life, and it's nice to hear about the things that are happening. And I think even if it's a target, or it's somebody singing about you, you have to take it in stride. You have to take it in stride. Don't you think so,
I think
Constance?
so. I think I was caught up in one of those situations one time where I had to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I do that.
The
kind
song
of
was
thing.
about
I
you?
breathe. Yes, well, I was in the song.
Oh my goodness.
And so I was like, You breathe and then you focus back on what it is you're doing with what it is
With
you're
the
doing, because you have to forget you in the
Yes,
scenario and do.
Now
that
you know I
what you're
never.
doing.
Now you know I never thought of that. It's only when Andre said that, and
Yes.
now you're saying that.
It's very easy.
If the
to
shoes is
survive
on my foot,
what would I
wow, that's incredible. Because
Yes.
when they're singing about everybody else, we're so excited.
We like it.
We want to hear it.
Yeah, we like it.
And especially if it's true, or if we can relate to some of the things, and the satire. Like this year, there are many songs about the government. So people's reactions. You look at people's reactions. You listen to the MC. The MC is really a big part of Calypso, and we are blessed to have a recurring decimal in Izai and the new
But we have
Donovan. We have a
lot
few
of
people coming.
potential.
Yes, so we have a few people coming
And
on board.
everybody does their thing in their own special way, and you
That's
cannot
right.
compare and contrast. It's not fair to do that.
No,
Because
no.
everybody brings a different light. If
It's
you want
very
to call
true.
it like
It's
that.
very true. But I can tell you, if Izai have to die, I don't know what we'll do.
Well, oh my
In the
goodness.
I have to be honest.
Yes,
I
I see
mean,
what you're saying.
Izai. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, he has been there for so long,
Yes.
and it's almost like when you come to Calypso, if Izai is not there, you get sad. That's the sad part. You're like, where? So
Yes,
we're
there's
happy to
a
have
bit
people
of
coming
that.
on board
Yes.
because we believe in succession planning. But he's so quick and so witty and so Andre, if you put yourself wrong, you're getting it from Izai. And the way he comes down is just you laugh with tears. Like it's so, and he does it so effortlessly.
Yes.
That's one of the things I really, really enjoy in the Calypso arena. Andre, nobody has ever written a song about you?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, not directly. I was included at least two of them.
What?
Yeah. Even in a Christmas song as well.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
also in the trio.
And one of them was also about the show I had. What Makes You Mad?
Okay.
One of the songs, yeah.
All right,
So in the
that's
trio, it's only me nobody has sang about.
Well.
You better sing about Lotus. I will write a song for myself next.
That's a good idea.
but yeah, that's incredible. Anyway, so that's Calypso. We don't want to spend too much time talking about Calypso because
Yes, definitely.
we have to move on. So we want to talk about the coverage. We'll move on to coverage. What do you think about the coverage, the media coverage of Carnival and Calypso, and do we have enough of it? I know this year, not only this year, but with the advent of social media and the links, and people look for the links. I mean,
Right.
when you look at the numbers, there's so many people watching and listening online as opposed to people at the venue. So it's a big thing online.
So it's live online?
It's a lot of it is live. Yes, a lot of it is live. So people share the links, and people from the diaspora and around the world can partake in the shows for sure. So that's a good thing. I think that's a fantastic thing.
Back in the day, these shows were broadcast live on radio.
On radio,
Yeah,
okay.
and eventually radio and TV, and that stopped. Since you have musicians now who now know their rights and so on, especially where music rights are concerned. So that was stopped.
But
So I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Oh,
It's
now
actually live
actually, there's
online.
there's all links. You get the links. The show is on, and you can watch the show. So what, Andre? You don't watch the show on online on YouTube?
But I'm just saying to you, I know for sure back in the day, right, during my time, these things were broadcast live. All the shows from the 10s all the way up to quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. These were live.
And they're on TV as well.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
Like it's not.
Like it's not. It's not on TV.
I think some arrangement. If it's sold out or something, then they can carry it. I think on TV.
No,
and even that, I think it's limited to maybe one company.
Really?
Yeah, not everybody can carry it.
Okay, well, I guess that doesn't affect much of anything since it's online. Like people can listen, they share the link and they can just view it anyway. So that's a good thing. I think that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Now
I must ask about that.
Andre. Anyway, okay, Andrea, ask. It's just the modern way. Everything is, is live streamed. So
no, I just want to find out.
It's just the modern way.
Why is it that it's not allowed? Well, at least as far as I know,
on
to
radio,
be broadcast on radio. And now it's online. I need to find out. I'll ask Isai. I see him.
It's online. In terms of coverage when it comes to Carnival, the actual parade, people talk about what cameramen should cover or what they should be filming and what they should not be. You think we should be censoring or even, controlling ourselves in terms of what we put out there? Or we should take everything?
Well, I mean, when you talk about media coverage, you're talking about a whole whack of things.
Yes.
I think it should be a little more, I don't know how you want to say it, a little more organized.
Okay.
What they put out there for true.
Okay.
What the focus is on. Because sometimes the focus is on the wrong thing.
The wrong things.
And not the merriment.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time, I think, way back when in Carnival, it makes no sense to take a picture because you will not find somebody that look like they from a section because it's revelry. Bands and the fla of the bands were not a thing on the second day. It was we go in and have a party.
A party.
So I mean now there's a lot more emphasis, I think,
on
the flowers and how you look and the thing and
what you do, what you're actually doing.
And I think for me it lost a lot of. It had a merriment about it that was a togetherness that felt like something. Because human beings come together and you can feel the vibe.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to call it vibe.
Yeah,
but it's
we
like
can call it a vibe.
Thing, even if you feeling down in that second there, you're saying, you know what?
Let's have a good
we're
time.
On the road, like we're going to do that. And
but
then
when you
we
said,
go check for the rest. Later.
When you said that they focus on the wrong thing, because I know that even you're right, some of the coverage, there's a lot of focus on the Bum Bum Wall. Right? Should we be really focusing on the Bum Bum Wall as opposed to, or is the Bum Bum Wall a new part of the thing, or should we be looking at especially the costuming, focusing more on the costuming, the display of the bands, as opposed
or that have any costume going on. Let's just be honest right here, okay? They don't have no costume going on in a lot of things. So let's just leave that aside.
So the Bum Bum Wall is a must.
The Bum Bum Wall started off as a place where a group of guys who were in the same section, I think it was, I can't remember which band, and they ran up on that side of the thing just to do their hype thing. When the sections came out and they were organizing their sections. The ladies used to go and imitate them. So after they passed it, they say, oh, the guys alone doing it, the women can go and do it. So they went and they did their thing. But, when you get outside influences and people look at that and they come and they want to imitate what they saw. Now, they're imitating what they see with the Bam Bam Wall at a time when the costumes are very flimsy. It's not necessarily somebody doing that to go on the Bam Bam Wall or whatever the story is.
It's just the costumes.
The costumes are like that. And when people having their alcohol and their merriment, they do their thing.
Now, you know what? Segueing into alcohol consumption.
Yes,
we drink a lot during Carnival, and I think we need to make sure that we are cognizant of how much we drink.
Yes.
And I know that sometimes people get very excited and then they drink and do things that they would not ordinarily do. I think that's where sometimes yes they do.
Yeah, sometimes they do, but I think you find an occasional somebody, but there's always somebody I think that looks out for people like that.
Well, the statistics show that there's a lot of babies being born after 9 months after Carnival.
Oh, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the people that in the band that were having... Okay, so merriment is all over.
Well, merriment, I guess merriment is all over.
You'll have to do the survey and so on to find out if that's
so that as well. We should make sure we walk in with our condoms as well.
Yes,
so that we're not having unprotected sex or unnecessary because you might do it and you didn't want to do it or you don't like the person necessarily. But if you protect it,
that
I'm talking about
that time,
during that time.
people
Yes,
get pregnant?
of course. People are sleeping with each other. They're having sex. They're drinking.
Okay.
You don't think people behave a particular way?
I'm not sure. I thought you were just talking about because of the merriment, people have a tendency to want to have sex more.
Well, that's the tendency as well.
But I didn't think of it like
so. People have fun. People. Andrew, you don't think so?
No, I think what?
That people in the merriment, more sex is happening and more alcohol consumption.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah, but I don't think it reaches the level where people blessed on the floor anymore. I think they have people looking out for each other.
Yeah,
they jump in, they do the responsible drinking thing now. I think I noticed that.
You noticed that. You're a reveler.
Yes,
so
always been.
Okay,
I stopped for a couple of years, but COVID and all that.
So we hope that people are. From what Constance is saying, that people are checking for each other, especially if it's the first time that you're jumping, that you have your friends checking for you and you're not doing things that you would feel you would regret at the end of the day.
Maybe I have a different experience.
You have a different experience.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. I'm sure it does happen where people do their thing, even if others
I voted to even pick up one or two girls and tell them hi. It's not all of that. It's
so you say that fun. Yes. Okay.
It's like,
now let's talk about costume pricing. People talk about the costumes being very, very expensive, but we have a lot of sold out sections, sold out bands. Why do you think people are really buying up the costumes like that and they're still complaining that it's expensive?
Well, you'll spend money on the things that you love.
Exactly.
That's a good take, Andre.
Yeah. People save for their
carnival costumes. Now, one of the things
and borrow too.
I was just about to say that's the other thing where people borrow money during that time and not paid back.
Yeah.
After the
but it's you to not lend at that time too because
after the bacchanal. People have there's a lot. There probably friendships breaking up, family upset because you didn't pay them back for for borrowing the money. I find that having gone into the mass camps and see how much work that is being put into the crafting of these costumes, I have to say I have a new appreciation for the price.
I
have a new appreciation for the price because before I thought, oh my gosh, these things are so expensive, but it's something else. The jewels, the gems are meticulously placed. People working day and night, like it's a lot of work, Andre.
But would you agree that that's the minority, not the majority of costumes? What you're referring to there right now?
No, I don't agree. I think people put the work in because even if you import the bathing suits or you do whatever, you still have to sit and put all the jewels on the thing. Yeah, the bands, yes, they sit and they put all the jewels. They have to stick all the thing, do your headpieces, the backpacks.
Okay.
It takes a lot of work, Andre.
Yes.
So when
there's a lot in it.
Yes, there's a lot, and I had a new appreciation last year. I went into behind the scenes and really looked at how some of the work was being done. So it's a lot of work. It takes a lot. So I guess
a lot of people who love carnival.
Yes.
The excitement of it, the build up to it. They love. I mean, even I attached to a band this year, if I can say. I go in one day on a mass camp and it's like this, and I go back the next day and I'm like, oh my God, all of this came out of just doing that.
Yes.
So, I mean, you see the transformation in front of you. And for me, this year, it feels like carnival again.
Now, let me ask you a question, because as you said that, there are people who build the costumes, the big ones, where they carry them, and not many people do that.
Right.
How I was speaking to somebody in who is building, and he's getting older, and I was asking him, how do you see the succession planning? Are the young people interested?
Yes,
and he was saying that is the problem they're having, is trying to get people to come in and be interested in costume building, especially those big costumes for King and Queen of the bands.
Yeah.
So
I think it's because sometimes it's because they don't know that they can be part of
come in
something,
and be part of that. Okay.
Because there's avenues for you to get attached to that if you're really interested in it, because it's not something you can just do willy-nilly.
Okay.
It has to be something that you really care about. Because anything that you do, like Andrew was saying, people take their carnival seriously. They take their time off. And they don't want to hear nothing. They're not clocking out. They take vacation time to have their bacchanal.
That's true.
So I mean, there's avenues for openness for it to happen, and I think it's just sometimes we don't think that we can be part of something. Well, so if it doesn't enter our brain as a possibility, we don't entertain
I hope that the theater arts teachers are listening, because I think maybe these are areas where students can actually go into the mass camps and really see what they experience, what is happening, and maybe see if they're interested in it as well.
I just had a thought as you said that the way that they opened up the calypso and the soca this year for the schools, that might be a good idea to bring the children into mass and bring them in at a certain time, and it could, look what I say.
And it's funny you're saying that because even looking at the primary schools calypso, Andrew, the children were so good.
Yes, they are. They're not.
The children, they were so good. The songs were well written.
I love the bravery.
They were brave. The songs were well written.
They don't look like they're intimidated.
No,
they're not looking like they're worried about who's looking.
They had a good time. I was blown away.
Yes.
I was blown away.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that the variety of subject areas that they were singing about, and they were very clear, and they were very clear in their delivery.
Very impressive.
I remember one of the little girls sang a song about Mondidor.
Yes,
and she had all her things from Mondidor happening in Mondidor, the heroes coming out of Mondidor. She was talking about being in Mondidor, living in Mondidor, going to school in Mondidor. I mean, it was incredible. So you had a lot of really nice songs coming out in the primary.
And unfortunately this year we didn't get any of the calypsos from the primary schools.
You didn't?
No, there was nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried inquiring as to what
you missed out.
What happened.
I don't know what happened, Andrew. The songs were really nice. The songs were lovely.
Yeah, I think they had some challenges. They said clashes with exams for some of the students and so on. Yeah, so this year we missed out on that. Last year we had everything.
The children sang really nice, both the calypso and the soca,
yes.
and so
and the soca segment was new.
And it was new. Okay,
was
you
new
see, so of course they could have kids from that, like you're saying, coming into the mass camps and really checking things out and making the schools part of
July.
it. So that, because we do have kiddies carnival,
yes,
so that that the kids could be more interested in building, costumes and. Okay. Let's shift to the influx of foreigners and foreign attention for our carnival. I remember back in the day, it seemed like the bands were mostly local, but now there's an influx of international, like foreigners come down. We have influencers coming over. We have just you look at some bands and it looks so new.
It's true.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's a good thing, because I thought the Caribbean was a place where people carnival hopped. There are people who carnival hop.
Yes,
they just
you're right.
live their life doing that. They work hard, and I'm taking it on the road wherever I'm going. So it depends on what you call foreigners. Sometimes these are Caribbean people who live abroad.
It's true. That's very true.
Children of Caribbean people.
That's
who live
right.
abroad,
That's
and
right.
They know about it.
That's right.
They
but
grew up
but we
around
also have a lot of influencers. I mean, if you look on Island right now, we have a lot of foreigners in terms of celebrities coming over. You have the advertising of some of those celebrities in the costumes. So if you look at, even like you say, some of the Caribbean carnival, you would see celebrities in our costumes. Last year we had Jessie Wu,
but we have the example of Rihanna in
Barbados. So we do have a lot of influencers and people coming over, and that's a nice thing. I like that, because it really puts St. Lucia on the map in a particular way, that all of a sudden now I think everybody wants a taste of St. Lucia. I think St. Lucia is really hot commodity now, Andre? It's like St. Lucia have a new taste. Everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to be here. Like when something is trending, I think St. Lucia is trending.
Yeah, I think everybody, the world seems to work like that. Everybody gets their turn.
Everybody gets their turn, and I think it's St. Lucia. Because just last week or week before, we had Taraji P. Henson here and Tasha Smith. And then I think on her leaving, Neo came in. So, it's like everybody wants a piece of St. Lucia. You see the celebrities coming in, Candy Burruss and her husband. Many people come for a few days for vacation just to go into the Sulphur Springs, do certain things and leave.
But why do you think that is so? That right now, as you said, St. Lucia seems to be trending, especially where those sorts of things are concerned. What do you think that we're doing?
It's the noise. I think we also have a lot of marketing going on as well, to be honest. I remember landing in Gatwick, and there's a Hotel Chocolat I think I saw some hotel like we advertise a lot. So when you land certain places, you get you see a St. Lucia. You see St. Lucia popping up.
They're visible.
So yes, the visibility, and I think we do a lot of little things. For instance, I think we had the housewives of either Beverly Hills or something at one of the hotels, and we St. Lucia Carnival was featured in one of the episodes. So there's quite a few things happening that show St. Lucia is out there, and people are like, oh, okay, let me find out what's going on. So everybody's coming, and when one celebrity come, it's like a domino effect, because like you say, the trends, everybody it's like when one person is wearing a Rolex, everybody wants a Rolex. So now St. Lucia is like a Rolex, so everybody wants to come and get a taste and see what's happening, and I think that's a good thing. I'm very excited about that. Now in terms of Carnival, when people are coming, I find the etiquette of people coming over to your house, because we have our friends and family coming over from all places to our homes, right? One of the things I want to talk about is when you're coming over to somebody's house, the communication between families. You're coming with your hands swinging, you're not bringing anything, and you come in and you're really disrupting, somebody's household. There's a lot of problems like that, Andrew. People who come from overseas and they come and they bring nothing and they want to eat and drink and eat all your food and leave,
So what is it they're supposed to bring?
No,
know,
Andrew.
right?
No, what I'm saying, Andrew, and I'm sure, and I'm sure. You see, we didn't even put our numbers out for our callers to call. But Andrew, it's true, Andrew. I'm sure the callers would tell you that their families are coming over, and they accommodate them nicely, and some of them are just bad guests.
Say it again. They didn't bring anything.
But they didn't bring anything, Andre. Sometimes they don't bring anything. Andre, give the numbers so the callers can call.
She's trying to reason away.
The callers can call and support me on that. Andre, I'm not saying they have to bring anything, but I'm just saying sometimes they come and they really utilize and they're coming from New York, or they're not bringing a pin. Not even a little box. But the old people will tell you that. You pack up and then they come in and they eating everything in the house. They going out, they coming back, they dropping their backpacks. Family, feel like what's going on? Why are these people doing that? I mean, I invited them, but not for them to do so
Carnival
many
time.
I don't know.
So let me give the numbers. The fixed line is 572-9710, 572-9710, or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. Again, the fixed line 572-9710, or WhatsApp 287-0971. So call us anytime.
So Andre, you're laughing. You think that if somebody comes to your home, I'm not saying that you have to bring something, Andre. I'm just saying in terms of the courtesy, not necessarily, but again the behavior of how what you do when you come. Some families can be really disruptive. Now, some people can invite you to their house and then treat you badly. That's wrong. If you invite your family for Carnival, you should give them a little bit of a leeway to enjoy themselves. You shouldn't choops.
when they don't bring anything.
When they don't bring anything.
I know what would make Lotus happy,
Lotus.
I know what Lotus wants them to bring for her.
What I want?
Nails.
Andrew, that would be nice. The thing about it is that if you know I like nails, I mean, you can always bring down a couple packets. Exactly. What's wrong with that? But I think it's just the courtesy, the etiquette, and callers will tell you that people come to their homes and really make a ruckus, especially when they're traveling. I also think when people are traveling in groups, coming together to contribute to the, for instance, Airbnb. If you know you cannot afford it, do not come, because if you come and you're not paying, then you disrupt the whole party.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Well, I never heard about these kind of stories, but when you say people come to your home, I'm from a family of bacchanalists. So you just have to find out how many people come in for you to cater for them. Usually people do their own thing, and that thing that you're talking about there, I don't know. That has to do a lot with
but it's to start the conversation, yes.
It's what the expectations of the person receiving is.
Okay.
Because if somebody come here for carnival, you know they pay their money. Sorry, did I say that like that? They pay their money for their band.
Well, that's how...
They pay their money for the ticket to get here. They haven't seen you in a while. They're coming down to see you at a time when it's carnival. It's how you look at it. They come in to have fun. Now you come in with other bacchanalists from your time, and you're in bands, in different bands, whatever. Well,
so
that's a party.
Everybody's having a good time.
The putting on of the costumes is a party. Hey, I want jewels too. Hey, you're doing jewels these days. Hey, I want jewels. Don't put in my eye. And it's a whole thing. Spray yourself. Who sprayed their hair 3 days from before? So, I mean, that bacchanalist attitude has always been part and parcel of what we are. So when you're cooking big food. You're cooking one pot and for a lot. Because people not really studying all them things. They pick up a thing here, they pick up a chicken leg here, they pick up a thing in the band, they go out there and they crash.
So everybody. So you don't think people should meal. You don't think people should hold anything against people if they come into your house
and depends on what
and
the relationships. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but I'm saying it's carnival. There's no, like you say, you cannot have no sour face carnival time.
Yes.
And people are not usually, well, I don't know people to be so selfish that they don't contribute or they don't be part. I don't know that.
Some of them don't, Some of them don't. You hear people talking about it.
Well, I know. Well, I imagine not everybody is perfect.
It's perfect, yeah.
But I'm just saying, sometimes the expectations of this thing about, you coming from the United, that doesn't even exist anymore. They have, you can order online anything you want. They have sales at different times of the year. I think some of the mentalities are still stuck in
it's still, and that's why we have
a
conversation.
They have lines at Shopbox and lines at this thing to collect.
People get all their things, yeah, for sure.
So it's how you look at it, I guess.
Okay. Since you all laugh at me that I said people were not bringing anything.
But girl,
what do you think?
You get your
what do you think? Yes, of course. What do you think about the fetes? The fetes on top of the carnival events. There are many fetes. The fetes have really multiplied over the years, right? So there's all kind of fetes happening, and all the fetes are sold out.
And all the fetes cater to different people,
and well attended,
and different vibes. I think.
Yes. So is that a good thing?
One or two may imitate, I don't know, but I don't go to all.
There's
the
a lot of fetes. Now I live in an area where the fetes take place. Some of them take place. So
these are what, fetes at private homes and so on.
Private fetes like Escape. They call them indulgence. Some of the fetes, breakfast fetes, Andre. They have them at different locations, and so
not at private residences, because I don't know, to be honest with you.
Maybe they do. Maybe
I'm not sure.
Maybe one or two. I don't go to them, but yeah, just many fetes people, and they pay a lot of money.
And I'm just curious
for the fetes.
These are the revelers who are on the road from whatever time up until close down, and they go to these fetes as well.
Of course, people go to breakfast fetes and then get ready for the Vaval.
It depends on your age and your level of energy.
I think so.
I think people plan carnival very seriously.
Yes,
they don't take it willy-nilly anymore.
They do. And especially, it's funny you talking about age, because a lot of the youngsters go from fete to fete, Andre. Some of them, these people go to quite a bit of fetes.
Let me tell you, when I was younger,
there's a thing now, they have all the bands on their hand, right?
When I was young and worked in the bank, I used to pretend I was working in the bank, yeah?
Why?
On the second day. The first day used to be locked down. So you go to your fete from Friday night, you partying until Monday. Tuesday morning, you have to come because they say it's not a holiday. You're not making any sense.
But you're not really working. You're not really working. Everybody wants to
in your head. You're just there to clock the few hours that they say you have to be there to leave early. Boom, back on the road at 1. That's when you were younger. When I can't do them kind of thing now.
But they do.
But there's availability for that.
Yes, they go from fete to fete, and they have these bands on their hand, and a lot of the foreigners do it as well. Have a good time from fete to fete. I think that is why the fete.
People have fetes at their home. I mean, carnival is big.
Really, it's a big thing.
It's not as small as we think it is.
And how many of these revelers do you think would go to work the following day?
They go.
Well, some of them go. Some of them have to go. Some of them have to go. Some of them, like Constance was saying before, they go on vacation, so they have a day or two after to really sleep it off. You take your vacation around that time.
It's you and your energy level. Some people can manage it. Some people can fake it. Some people have to sleep.
Andrew, you ever jumped before?
Just once.
Really?
Yeah.
And what happened?
I was a young guy at the time, really young.
And you decided
I didn't like it.
I
didn't like it at all.
Why?
Because I missed everything. I just saw my band and that was it basically. And I didn't like that.
What do you mean you saw your band?
In other words, I'm in a band and that's all I'm seeing. That was it.
But you can stand up on the side of the road, watch a couple bands and enjoy your band. I used to do that, to watch the different costumes.
Wow.
Well, I was playing an instrument at the time.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Okay,
you could not go.
okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't do that.
I jumped once in my life, but
Really?
not in St. Lucia. I jumped in Trinidad. And I was very
That will
concerned.
consume.
Well, I was raised in the church, so I was very concerned that my mother would know. She still
my.
found
Yeah.
out.
So is it the same vibe?
In Trinidad?
Yeah, same kind of vibe. You feel like when you're there, you feel like you're at home.
It was just too long. The route was very, very long. And I wanted to. I was very stouche with my costume, so I was jumping in high heels.
Oh
and then
my,
I had
you're one of
the yes, one of those. and the AC bus was next to me, so every time I jumped for 5 minutes, I would go back and sit in the AC bus. It was very nice.
Right.
But I just found the route was very, very long, and I knew it wasn't something I was going to do again. I was tired, but they seem very organized as opposed to here, where a lot of the bands get separated. Trinidad is very serious about this, their bands coming down properly, and I found that to be
managing
discipline,
people who in merriment and drinking on the road. With
that
so much
discipline happened.
Not easy,
Yes,
can imagine.
I
It
know
can
it's
be
not easy, but for some reason they did it really well. I found that to be something that they did very well in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Do you think our revelers would prefer a longer route? Because you said it was too long.
A longer route, Andre? Well, I have never jumped from. Is it from Mega J to Mega J?
It's the length of the route that matters. I think it's the combustion on the routes when the bands meet. Like,
and when they're coming up and going down.
Yeah, I think that is causing a lot of problems because you don't have space. You jump up in somebody else. There are people coming in.
Last year I saw that.
And I imagine they don't have those issues in Trinidad, right? They don't have.
No,
those,
I didn't see like bands coming up and bands doing that clashing the way we had it. I remember last year I was sitting in the VIP by Lucilek, and you could see one band coming down, then Just for Fun was going up, and
Yeah, I think that's the
commingling. Yes, you didn't know. You were trying to figure out which section. So
but
that
even in
that looked
there
chaotic.
is merriment because you're there jumping with friends of yours in other bands. So it may look chaotic from a perspective from where you're looking at it because you sitting down there, you want to see order, but the people in the band want to have fun. Remember?
So they don't care about that.
Do you see revelry on the road?
But what about judging though? Because when they get to the stage, judging, how do you how?
I think they have different. I don't know how it works with the bands per se because I have not really paid too much attention. I know there's main stage, but I think that there are other little things going on along in terms of judging for the bands. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't really speak to it because I don't have information.
Okay, so in terms of
I think there is more
organizing,
than one place that they're being judged. I think. I'm not sure how it works. Or if different sections, if it's different, if it's the big costumes.
Okay.
It's a whole
Okay, let's move to Old Mass. What do you find about Old Mass? You find Old Mass is still happening at a rate that we enjoy it, or it's going away? Like I find the numbers are going down, but I love Old Mass.
I don't know. I haven't seen Old Mass too much, and some of the persons have faded. It's a thing still.
It is a thing. It is a
I
thing.
think they probably still have a couple followers. They used to have meetings at one time, The Old Mass people plan themselves where they position, but I don't know. I guess
now I see like just one or two people, but I hope that we have more Old Mass coming on because I really like the Old Mass, Andre. I think it really gives you also a perspective of what's happening in society. They take different themes and different little topics, and
maybe it's not something attractive to the younger generation.
You think so?
Yeah, because I remember some of the guys who were involved in Old Mass, and of course they're now basically in the
older
60s
guys.
Going up there.
Older guys.
And so obviously these guys are tired and have other things to do.
Now
so maybe I don't see new faces.
Now
in
that's
the Old
another
Mass.
thing in terms of succession planning. How do we get the younger people to be interested in those things? Because I think that's definitely a really good part of the carnival. I remember that.
But you see, carnival comes around, and you hear the hype from June, from after jazz, boom. Carnival, the hype, and then after the road march, it's just boom. After the mass on the road, boom. Next. It's too blocked. You have to have these things around the place, I think. If they extend calypsos in the communities during different seasons. You can have it.
So it shouldn't be only around
Carnival. You can have
Carnival.
a calypso during the national
Independence.
holiday, not Independence only. The national one at December
13th.
Yes.
Nationally.
You can have a small competition around that for juniors and for adults.
For adults.
You can have it community-wise where you can bring in new people.
You have a
We have
call,
a call?
Lotus?
Oh, we have a
You
call.
do. Okay, this is Unrestricted. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing, my bro?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I want to chime in on this carnival business that is going on. And Andre, you don't even know I just play old mascot, sir?
Of course, I was thinking of you actually. Yeah, and I said a lot of them now are old.
No. Don't put me in that category. But okay, I was fortunate enough some time ago because I heard you all talk about Trinidad Carnival and St. Lucia Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
I have been fortunate to be in Trinidad for Carnival over the years. Trinidad has Carnival down to a science. It is to a science.
Sure.
Okay. Basically, like you have what's the name of the place now? The Savannah. You have your boutiques there. You have your shops. You have everything all along the route. You have stands where people pay $1 or $2 and go and sit and watch the game. You don't get bands crossing one another. The only time you might see the other band is if you reach in the big yard, basically what we call the big yard, where they have the big stage and they're doing the churching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So sometimes your band start 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're on the road right through.
So how you think?
Because
do you think St. Lucia can get to that place in terms of?
No, we're not ready for that.
We're not ready for that.
No, we're not ready for that. The route that we have there right now, we're not ready for that. Because they have bands coming from different areas. As a matter of fact, I have been in Trinidad already, and while Juve is going on, they have bands going down. They have bands going to church while they have Juve on the road still. Now, another thing that I want to point out, because I'm a Masha man, let's put it plain. Before, all carnival activities used to be in Masha, and you have the bands coming up the road, because I play band from very young too. Mm-hmm. You have the bands coming up Masha, but from way in town the information.
Okay.
But right now, when they reach by VG Field, everybody's saying, get in your position. So what happened to the people that standing on the side of the road, or like the Leclerc and Summersdale and whatnot, that want to see the band? You understand? I don't know how you feel about it.
About people by the road that want to see the band?
No, because Carnival is a spectacle. It's not only for the people that join the reveling, it's for people to watch too.
Yes, people come out to see the bands.
But the bands leave from one specific place, which is up by the Caribbean cinemas, and they all supposed to travel down that line. I think they've been doing that for a number of years, so that the spectacle.
Yes, I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm saying everything chock-a-block the road going down. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I find as a spectator, again, what he's saying too, you're not sure sometimes what's really happening.
Thank you.
And with the clashing of the bands too, you're trying to understand, okay, which band is that, what section, and that causes a lot of, I don't know how they're going to fix that. Or is it something that we can fix?
Well, I think that's what the main stage teaches you. It teaches you what's going on with each band, because each band presents themselves on the same stage, on the main stage, by section.
Yeah, but if,
the owners, they explain the band and the idea, the theme and everything.
No, but sorry to say, if I am by Gablewoods watching the band going down, which a lot of people do, they sit by Gablewoods and they watch the band going down. I'm not in front of a TV. Right. I can't see what's happening.
That's true.
And
it has, and I find that he has a point there. It has become worse. I don't know. It has become worse, like from
back.
Well, I mean, that speaks to the traffic management and that sort of thing. But
and maybe the size of the bands too, because the bands have really
and they have
increased
different
in
sizes,
numbers.
different bands, so sometimes it's hard to distinguish.
Like I said, I visited Trinidad for Carnival. I saw one band pass. It took me about 2 hours to see one band pass.
To Trinidad, you
no, I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing. I am just saying that from Mega J to Cass to Fiji, everybody just struggling. You have people running up, who running down, who doing that, who doing that. Nobody information. You can't tell the band. You have fellas from one band in another band and whatnot. You understand? Only when they reach by the VG playing field, going down to judge, you tell people, find yourself information, find yourself in a section, what it is.
Mm-hmm. So you find the organization, you think there could be a little more organization?
Yeah. I mean, because I always on the road. From by Mega J coming down, you have people, I can tell you every point that they have people pack up watching the band. Even the little green space there they have there outside by the Mega J roundabout, you get people there.
True.
You know, when you reach the Leclerc Junction, you have all the people there right around about.
Okay. Well, I hope the organizers may be able to do something to make it a little easier. What do you think of the Old Mass, since you played Old Mass, in terms of succession planning? Are you seeing the numbers going down in terms of the people partaking in that?
Old Mass is something with me. Old Mass is something that you have to think of all year round.
Sure.
You have to think of that all year round. You have to be topical.
Yes.
A lot of the time you have to be relevant too.
Yes. Yeah,
very
for true.
So.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So it's an art that needs to be taught.
Yeah. So sometimes you look at headlines on newspapers. You know, you take it down, you play with it, you play with the words, you do what you might be in conversation with somebody and a fella throw an old chat on you, and then you say, okay, I can work with that.
Taught is the wrong word. It should be shared.
Shared.
It should be conversed.
Yes,
it should be experienced.
Yeah. So it's something like Andre was talking about creativity yesterday. That's where creativity comes in.
Yes,
and Constance mentioned the love for the art. Like you have to be really in it and really want to do it. If you're not passionate about it, I don't think the Old Mass is going to happen, because that's where the jokes really come in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now you see, the thing about it, we used to have a big crew, and like the lady rightly said, we used to have meetings on it before. That time Carlton and the Boots and these guys all used to play. I mean, I remember Cox. I remember, there's so many Billy, so many guys.
That's true.
You know, there was that Old Mass band they called Brazilians. That's where I got into Old Mass.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that band Brazilians that used to start off from Brazil Street.
Yeah. Well, no, it might be a little older.
Older than you.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that we can get people back into it, doing it, and I can see it happening. Especially this year.
Look, I was tutored by Martin Weeks,
Martin.
I don't know if you know, because he again was with the band Brazilians, and sometimes I come up with my ideas, I come up with my words, and I go to him and I ask him how you think I can play that and what it is and what's supposed to be.
Oh, I didn't know that about Martin. I learned something today. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Martin Weeks used to tutor me in Old Mass. You understand?
Nice.
Yeah. But I mean, the people, those guys that play there right now, sometimes you don't even see no fun in what they say. Basically, it is for fun on the road. You pick up a topic and it's to make people laugh at the topic, like you say.
Yes.
My thing with Old Mass is that when I play my Old Mass, I want, when I turn around and look at you, you might read my placard, but when I continue when I turn around, I look and I see you cracking up.
That's right. That's right. The creativity.
Or you left somebody thinking.
Yes.
Because usually they leave me thinking. I was like, wow.
Yeah, wow. I never
thought of it.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Thanks a lot, partner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
No problem, Andre.
Alrighty.
That was a great contribution for sure. Yeah. So, what other areas of Carnival that's on your mind, or something that you want to just pop in? Because I think I've gone through all the little things all the little nuances that we could have spoken about,
including people not bringing nothing when they come in at your home. But are there any other things that you think we can really,
Well, the most controversial, of course, has to do with some of the costumes that are really
so you find we have no costuming. Look, there has a reveler. What do you say about that, Constance?
Boy, let me tell you. You put me on the spot. I don't
and
know. I think it's something about to each his own. I guess I'm different. Remember when this actress, what's her name? I think it's Will Smith's wife.
Jada?
Right. When she did a pregnancy thing, total pregnancy. She showed her big bump on some very famous thing way back when. I don't know if I'm that old.
I can't remember.
But it was alarming to people as though, why would the lady show off her pregnancy, her body, her whatever like that? And it's like...
And now it's a thing.
But it's a thing. So, I mean, to each his own, your level of comfort. I think that carnival bands have made up over the years where if you don't like your costume too skimpy, there's an option for you. Before it used to be worse. Now it's better. You can have shorts and a bikini. You can have a whole suit.
You can have the tankini and all kind of thing.
You can have tankini. You can have whole suit. As long as you're looking and you're representing the band that you're in, because there's a reason why the band is together. For the revelers to be, for the watchers and everybody to see the concept, because there's something behind it. So it's to each other's comfort level. I don't know that you can censor that. I don't know, because human bodies are not, and I don't think human bodies are something that people are supposed to be so alarmed about, because we came we came naked. Nakedness is not something wrong with it. It's behavior, I think, that is much more of a concern in terms of how you behave on the road when you know that there are children and everybody else in the world watching. And yes, you can, I think you're talking about whining etiquette.
Yes, whining etiquette.
Yes, there's whining, but there's bump and grind, there's how you do things these days, because young people, they free up. I mean...
What do you think, Andre?
If I had to bring an example home, I used to ask my daughter, when they Matty and they go, I say, sweetheart, so you're dancing with your friends like that. That doesn't get them excited, they don't. She's like, Mommy, are you crazy? If any one of these fellas decide that they whatever, they're not on the line, they're not getting the vibe, because this is not about sex. This is about dancing, this is about expression. If they take it to the level where they're getting sexually or getting excited overexcited to the point where you in a different zone, you off the map. So you have the ability to control what it is you're doing. I mean, you're an adult. Yes or no?
Yeah, I agree.
Where time and place, I think time and place is important, where you are, because you can easily, if you free that way and you practice safe sex and you figure tonight I having that, I mean, who's going to stop you? You just have to decide where it is you're doing what you're doing, because I mean, I don't know, to each his own. I've seen people on the road by the corner waiting for the band organizing. I just have to look away, because it's not my business. I don't know.
Yeah. And every year we have people, certain sections of society complaining and saying why they
costumes are
wearing those things. But to me, in my little humble view, Carnival, as we said earlier, is about the bacchanal. So we shouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. If anything, I just don't watch it.
Or you don't partake.
It's like when you go to church, you expect people to dress a particular way in church, right?
True.
So the Carnival is about the bacchanal.
Yeah, well, Carnival is about that.
So every year we have people complaining about the same thing over and over again. And I think what the bands are doing now, basically they're rebelling, because every year it gets skimpier and skimpier.
But it's not about what you wear. It's about the freedom. It's about having fun. It's about
that's a really good point where you said that not the focus is not so much on what they're wearing, but it's the behavior.
Yes,
I think a lot of times people complain about the behavior as well, but they do complain about what they're wearing, which is and then that attached to some of the behavior as well.
I mean, women, the some of the guys are gorgeous in those shorts.
Mm-hmm,
Yes or no? And some of the women look great.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, we are Caribbean people. We take care of ourselves.
But let me ask you,
like how we look. The young people care.
Let me ask you a very, very good question. You said some of the guys look good. From a female perspective, are you all attracted when you see a guy with a shorts and so on?
It's candy.
If he's looking well, Andre, you see a guy looking well.
Say, well, yes.
You're like, wow, that he looks nice in his costume.
Yes,
the same way I'm sure the guys by the side of the road watch the girls and see.
Well, we know. That's what I'm saying. We know how the men react to that sort of thing already. So I was just curious to hear.
Why do you think that one gender would not do what the other gender is doing? I'm female.
Women, we look. We just don't react like y'all, Andre.
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
Well, some of
us
I wanted to know if you all react the same way, like you start to think of things, like imagine
because there's
things.
A contact. If I walk inside of here and you give me a look and I give you back a look and you give me a look, something happening. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Did I do that this morning?
No, I didn't say. I'm saying if. You heard if conditional. If
you know, Angela.
It's attraction, but you don't know what the attraction is. Sometimes you like somebody's vibe because you like how they think, you like how they speak, you like. I have friends who are.
Girls do watch. We do watch guys.
Yeah,
we
do. But admittedly, guys are different. Huh?
Guys are different.
Our reaction
girls,
is much different.
We watch the guys and we say, "Wow, he looks nice. I like to see that guy." But it's more casual, right? The men gawk. They gawk. They stare.
I have a whole different theory about the men and what they're doing, but I don't think this is the show.
They address you.
It's on another level.
They address you with their eyes. They touch. What do you think about that in Carnival?
I think that
people touching.
They let themselves go a little bit because I think for most people they shy, and in Carnival they have a little want to drink. They can pretend that they have a little more pizzazz. There's that going on there too
as well. Okay,
I've seen people and I know them. They want to come and take a grind. Sometimes they wanted me from May. I coming for you this year. Come and take a grind. So it's they don't jump in the band, whatever. But you see them, you just give them because for them that's something. See, I take a grind on a woman in a band. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But
okay, Lotus, we gotta wrap up.
Yes,
we gotta wrap up.
Sorry,
that's true.
But it's all fun.
Okay.
All fun.
Well, Andre, I really, really enjoyed this conversation. We just wanted to talk about Carnival because I know it's coming up, and like I said on Saturday. The Queens are going to be putting up a show at the Pavilion. Come and see all the girls, especially Ziggy Vitalis, Miss Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate, especially Ziggy Vitalis. I'm very proud and I'm very excited.
I'm sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be rooting for them.
So everyone have a safe and enjoyable 2025 responsible carnival season.
Responsible carnival.
For sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Lotus, for your service as always.
You're welcome, Andre.
This has been Unrestricted.
Thank you.
On Rev-Up Slu every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So listen again next week Wednesday for another Unrestricted hosted by Lotus. Now stand by for Hard Drive that's coming up next. Those of you checking us out on Facebook, etc., etc. We'll just take a little break and get back to you in just a moment.
Hi, this is Lotus. Join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM.